Hi friends, hope you all are doing fine. Today I want to talk about something different. Though it is about art and creativity, but not what I usually talk about. I generally don't comment or give opinions on these matters because there will always be people who will pick up pitchforks and shovels and come to the comment section. I'm not into that, but still here I am talking about it. I have been observing certain trends and changes in the YouTube landscape for quite some time, and how it negatively affects smaller creators. Not only that, as a viewer, it affected me, and I know many like me. It is the decline and decay of creativity on this side from various individual channels. Let me try to explain my perspective. Recently, I watched a video from a big art YouTuber about another art YouTuber and how their behavior changed over time and slowly became kinda clickbaity or sometimes downright exploitative of other artists. All this happened while the particular channel grew bigger and bigger. I watched a few other videos with similar themes, but they were more personal with respect to the subject and detailed research oriented in the sense that they talked a lot about a particular channel and its malpractices or something of similar nature. A lot of the things that I have been thinking and observing were discussed in these videos. So I thought let's talk about the issues that I personally observed, especially in the art and creative community. I first noticed something is amiss when I saw my favorite creative YouTubers changing their channels from educational, helpful ones to purely entertainment based ones. Even then, I thought they were or are just venturing out and testing the waters. But as days went by, these channels became bigger in production and more extravagant but offered little educational value. It started to feel like they were or are becoming more corporate-like and had lesser personal connection to their viewer base. Now, I'm not saying it is bad or unwanted to have entertainment-based channels and everything has to be educational, but these slow changes of a lot of channels got me thinking, why is this happening? While I still enjoy the contents of a lot of these channels, I generally don't rely or go to them to learn something meaningful when it comes to skills anymore, be it digital art, traditional art, animation, etc. I completely understand that it is often needed to change the topic of a channel to break the monotonicity. I myself do that, but to change them completely was a bit of a shock to me. Do not think I am blaming them for something or trying to say they did something wrong. All I wanted was to know why they did that. Was or is that some kind of marketing strategy? Is it a new trend? What is going on? Personally, as a viewer, I do feel less connected to these channels or the person that I subscribe to when they become more detached and corporate-like, no matter how much personality they show. Do I enjoy their content sometimes? Yes, I do, but I'm also concerned. My concern is what I have noticed is that slowly personal channels with valuable information and connection to its viewers are decreasing and decaying. YouTube used to be a social networking platform where people could connect with each other with the medium of videos. I myself learned digital art from many YouTube channels when I first started. There could be debates and discussion and even video responses as a means to create a community. But as of late, it feels like, well, YouTube wants to be just an entertainment platform, like is the new television. Let's talk about the generic issues first. Extreme corporatization. I'm not going to use the word corporatization in the classical sense. YouTube is a company in itself after all. Well, now Google owned, but you get the point. What I'm going to talk about is the change of culture and mentality over the time. I used to check YouTube's homepage every day when I woke up to see what new videos they are recommending. It was always a joy to find new channels with its quirks and perks. But slowly I realized YouTube started to recommend less and less undiscovered channels owned by individuals and more channels owned by some sort of company. When I say company, I mean entertainment channels from TV or some companies formed maybe just for YouTube. I would get pages filled with talk show host videos for no reason. You might say maybe you watch those types of videos, that's why the algorithm showed you more of such videos. But that's the catch, I generally did not watch those types of videos. Now, one thing I want to mention here, it was not like one fine morning I woke up and checked YouTube and found all the videos are like that. It started with one or two recommendations. If I watched one, the recommendations went higher the next time. The problem was YouTube would recommend these type of videos way more than an art video or a video from a small creator. What I mean is, the rate at which YouTube recommended videos from certain types of channels were much higher than others, even when I watched both types of videos. Let's say I watched a talk show video, which is definitely from a channel run by a television network and not an individual. At the same time, I watched a watercolor painting video from a small artist who is the sole owner of their channel. Next time when YouTube would recommend more similar videos to me, there will be say 5 talk show videos as compared to 1 art video. Now the percentage is not exactly accurate as I did not record the phenomena and calculated the percentage, but I observed something similar to it. The more these companies and celebrities started to enter YouTube, the more individual creators started to get pushed aside. People might think that the competition is high and companies have better resources so they can produce more videos, hence they get more views. That is one point. Yes, very important one at that. It's like if you already have more wealth and resources to begin with, you can easily achieve success in new avenues compared to struggling individuals. But that is not the only thing to be discussed. The new channels always need to grow from zero. Yet I noticed certain channels grew overnight. Recently I found out about a sort of scoring system that is done on YouTube where creators are given some sort of scores and based on that they get more exposure and recommendation. Now I don't know how much of it is true, but a YouTuber made a video about this long back and there was discussion about it. These company-owned channels, famous celebrity channels, etc. are given higher scores to begin with so that they get more exposure than us peasants. Now I don't have the receipts, but if anyone comes across the video, please comment down below. As far as I remember, it was removed or something. I could be wrong. Does all this mean there's no hope for individual or smaller creators? Well, there is, kind of. But for that, creators started to give up the close community style video making, videos that are new, unique and creative, to create more clickbaity videos. I mean, competition is high, so with time they have to change. I guess because of this, a lot of creators change their channel content. Monetization issues. When I started my channel, monetizing your channel was not that difficult. Anyone with some basic requirements could get into partnership programs. But some big YouTubers did some things that scared advertisers, blah blah blah. And what happened as a result? They started punishing small YouTubers for that. Now, a lot of people said small YouTubers should not complain because they did not get paid much anyways, or it is greedy to post videos for money, but these arguments fall flat in front of reality. For starters, it is true that small YouTubers used to get peanuts in the name of payments from their videos, but nonetheless, it was an encouragement for them to move forward. If you say people should post without any encouragement or remuneration in an environment where the platform and bigger channels are making tons of money, then I would call that hypocrisy, especially when it was the fault of the bigger channels that brought in the apocalypse in the first place. If YouTube, like old times, stayed just a community-based site, then I understand this sentiment. But when it is not such a thing anymore and people make profit from it, operate it as a production hub where our videos are the products, this sentiment has no value. This system automatically cuts out new individual channels if they cannot follow the trend, thus creating a vacuum in the experimental creative side of the platform. There should be a harmony between profitability and creativity, which I agree is really difficult. It is something similar to industries. Often established industries form a structure that automatically creates obstacles for new industries from entering the field, thus reducing competition. It is good for the industry but bad for the customers. Less competition means less interest from the producer's side to create better products as they are secure in their customer base. there will be less R&D, less mindfulness towards the quality of the good. And when these industries form a cartel, customers lose a lot of bargaining power. Now apply this to the current YouTube ecosystem. You will see why a lot of creators do not find any urge to have better quality content. Now when I say quality, I'm not talking about sound or camera quality or even the video environment quality. I'm talking about the content itself. This brings me to another hypocritical comment thrown at the small YouTubers. You should not make videos for money. You should make videos for the joy of it. Grind more and one day you will get there, but do not have a channel to earn money. The problem is, most people who say these things will not follow a channel that uploads once a month or make videos with low quality equipment or editing. Sure, there are channels that are still doing well even with these attributes, but they are rare cases. Most viewers would want to have regular videos from a channel, that too with some proper editing, etc. Making a video takes a lot of time and polishing it takes even more. If you think people should spend days and weeks on making a video for you in return for nothing, then no one will be able to make videos unless they are rich and hire editors, etc. to work for them. Even then, that costs money. My point is, everything in this system costs money, including the time we put in. Saying not to expect anything in return is selfish, shallow, and apathetic. Not only that, if one does not put out videos regularly, they lose their own subscribers. YouTube stops recommending their videos to new ones, thus reducing their exposure and chance to grow. In such an environment, working without anything in return is absurd. Now, I understand people should not be able to earn just by uploading one video, but why not pay the amount they deserve if you were using their videos to show advertisements? Though it is a recent development. Before, those who were not in the partnership program did not have to worry about advertisements being shown in their videos, but now they show advertisements in every video. One argument I hear is that they let you upload your video to their platform, so they are taking all the money from the advertisements to maintain their servers, bandwidth, etc. Even then, there would be enough to pay the creator whose videos are used for the advertisement. This mentality that someone should do something without any remuneration because there's a tiny bit of hope that they might make it big in the future is exploitative. If you don't like the system, then you should not upload your videos. There are many creators who found success here. I have heard this kind of argument as well. To answer that, yes, that is why a lot of creators left the platform. The reason you do not know about them is because they did not get the chance to be known. For every success story, there's thousands of failures, and that is not because they were bad creators or did not give it their best. It's because their situation was not favorable. And YouTube does not make it easier for the small ones either. As I have seen some small creators leave, or I follow them no more as they stopped uploading, I realized how we do not get to see a lot of great creators because they did not get the chance. The reason I am concerned about it is because as a community, or whatever is left of it, we are operating on a suboptimal level as the system does not give everyone an equal chance to thrive. Therefore, a lot of good creators are not being able to contribute. Now, from a profit perspective or a company standpoint, it may be optimal, but from a social or community standpoint, I think it is not. Since I am not a company, I'll choose the latter lens to see through. Viewers are... We cannot absolve ourselves from creating and participating in an ecosystem that does not give much nourishment to creativity. Sure, there are beautiful creative videos with a lot of views, but compared to most popular ones, they are nothing. And when you observe these popular videos with millions of views, you might find a common theme. That is showcasing opulence. I checked a few videos of really famous YouTubers, including ones that call themselves art YouTubers, and found that their thumbnails and titles are mostly about money, costly cars, or other luxurious goods. A lot of their thumbnails have pictures of these items along with someone shocked or happy or showing some other emotional expression in an extreme manner. Most of the topics on these videos, covert or overt, are about money, fame, and luxury. In fact, some YouTubers who transitioned and grew often grew in similar fashion. They stopped uploading valuable, simple, and creative videos and started making videos that would sell. And we as viewer base buy these contents way more, thus giving creators the indication what would get more views. I have watched a video of a man creating the most beautiful watercolor painting that had a few thousands of views while getting a recommendation of a video with few millions that just unboxing some expensive toys. Not review, just unboxing. I think most people watch videos that showcase luxury because they want to live that sort of life or want to find joy seeing those videos. I wouldn't know. Even then, I still have hope. There are artists and creative people on this platform that grew and still growing for their uniqueness, albeit the number is low and the growth is slow. Nonetheless, there are viewers out there who appreciate such creative endeavors, but I wonder if this same interest can be stretched towards the new creators. My personal journey. Here's a personal rant about my channel. Well, I have been on this platform for quite a long time. I tried everything every YouTube growth guru said and suggested. They said be consistent. I was consistent for a long time, spending days on videos. They said videos needed proper editing and good thumbnails, so I tried. They said spend time on SEO, so I banged my head against the wall for months, but still I could not do it. I always thought that the problem was me, that I was not competent in marketing or my content is bad or I am not working hard enough even though I was giving almost all of my time to my content. But then I found channels with videos that do few things that I never did. They follow trends or whatever people like irrespective of their own liking. Their thumbnails often are exaggerated. The video uploads are more frequent than I can imagine. There were more, but these are some I remember. Again, you can talk about channels that upload a video once a month and still going strong, but those are rarities, and oftentimes they start doing that after they get a loyal viewer base. I hardly see this particular trend among art channels though. Few things that are a problem in my case that I have listed over the time. Location. It took me some time to realize that the location of the creator matters because YouTube suggests your video locally first. If you create art videos while living in a location where people are not much interested in art, it becomes much harder to grow. You already get a tiny portion of exposure on the platform. Even then, if people do not watch your video, then exposure decreases because it sends a negative message to YouTube as in this video is not worth watching, so it is not worth giving exposure. This is a huge problem with my channel. Often I felt like changing the channel content or mixing things up a bit, but I love painting and having art videos. Burnout. Unfortunately, I get burned out easily as I need to take care of a lot of things beside YouTube. And as I mentioned before, creating a video takes time, a lot of time. From brainstorming to creating, voiceover, editing, etc. Not only am I doing these things without any return, but also they can become hectic often. Honestly, I often think of streaming games that I love or doing reaction videos live as they are much less time consuming. But I prefer art over all other things. For me, the only way I can avoid burnout is if I upload videos on topics I enjoy. I hope to find other people who enjoy the same topic. But even then, in this heavily saturated and extremely competitive platform, it is difficult to put out videos frequently enough to stay relevant. Art block and monotonicity. If you are a creative person, you would definitely be familiar with art block or writer's block or something of that sort. It happens to all of us and sometimes heavily related to burnout. As an artist, I don't get inspiration to create something wonderful all the time. I often slump down and that's okay, but not when you are a creator on YouTube. I know a lot of artists come up with newer videos and put effort into them because they treat it like a job as they get paid from it. But the problem is the system expects everyone to treat it like that even without getting any return, or the creator will fall behind. You cannot grow if you treat it as a hobby. And without any income source, it is almost impossible to treat it like a job. Art blocks are things that this type of production structures do not understand or consider. And producing videos for the sake of staying relevant or keeping your growth brings monotonicity, which influences the creative process and makes blocks more severe. It reduces the quality of the creation as well. Imagine you are painting something because you get that flood of urge in you to create, versus you are painting because you have to without giving it much time or thought. Because when you need to produce something on a regular basis within a short period of time, everything is scarce. So I do face these problems a lot. However, I try to work around my blocks for my own well-being. Maybe I will talk about art block and how I cope with it in another video. Conclusion. In conclusion, I cannot completely blame the system for my failure, while I cannot blame myself either. I could open a commentary channel with relevant topics, but that is not my goal. I could make the channel niche, like teaching only Photoshop tutorials or something, but what I understood from my observation is that entertainment is more important than just a tutorial video. Contents with more personalities or contents that are considered fun are something that people would want more. Contents that bring arguments and debates are doing well too. In any case, I will continue to make videos that I enjoy and hope people who enjoy similar things will watch them. But I doubt that will bring any growth to my channel. Nonetheless, I have started treating my content creation as a hobby rather than a job, which allows me to breathe and concentrate on other things. There's a mentality that if you work really hard, you will be successful. I do not completely agree with such a blanket statement. If working hard was the key to be successful, then coal miners would have become owners of the coal mines because of their hard work. There are lots of other aspects that play key roles in a capitalist competitive society. The idea is that if you are not successful, then you must be lazy or not working hard enough. Problem of this type of thought process is it does not consider all the different aspects of reaching success, including shady ones in certain cases, and puts the burden of the entire thing on hard work. Not only that, I find it as a defensive mechanism of a system that fails talented hardworking people by shifting the entire blame on them rather than a biased environment. This way, if anyone criticizes problematic aspects of a certain system, it could be easily dismissed by putting responsibility completely on the individual, pretending as if everything else is fine and fair. This type of mindset is lazy, superficial, and manipulative. Unfortunately, a lot of creative people get demotivated because of their failure, and we as a community lose many great contributors. If you are one such person who is thinking of giving up, my advice to you is don't. No matter how little you post your content online, no matter how little views you get, keep it on and keep it up. If you listen to me ranting this long, then thank you for watching and listening. Spread positivity and kindness, because in today's landscape, they are becoming rare. Hope to see you in another video. Till then, bye!